Welcome back to another episode of SMECO Connects. I'm Sonja Cox, and I'm joined by my co-host, Tom Dennison.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Great to be here again. Wow, we're fortunate today to be joined by two special guests. We've got the Princess of Power, Ronnie Wise, and we've got our Roger Schneider, who's our Senior VP and our Chief Operating Officer here at SMECO. So, Ronnie, you can give us your official title and how long you've been here and kind of what you do now, for the viewers.
Well, I'm Ronnie Wise, Distribution Operations Director. I've been at SMECO almost 37 years. It's a long time. October of 1988, I believe, was when I came in. Yeah. Started as a probationary clerk typist and worked my way up to, I believe, cashiering in the service department and finally the meter department where I did load management. And then into operations, I think in 2000. I'm pretty sure, July of 2000. Came in as a actual transmission operator. Back then, we didn't have a distribution operations center. Everything was handled out of the districts. So, but we created distribution operations, I think in 2005. Pretty sure it was. That's when we kind of, I guess,
2005.
Brought everything together in one place.
Yeah.
That was fun.
But I switched over from transmission to distribution at that point in time as an operator. Stayed in there until 2017, became the manager, and then 21, I think, became the director. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
How about you, Roger?
My name's Roger Schneider. I'm the Senior Vice President of Engineering and Operations and the Chief Operating Officer here at SMECO. I've been here, it'll be 28 years this October. Wow. So, and I worked other places before I came here. So,
And you're an electrical engineer,
I'm an electrical engineer. So I started here as actually, it's called transmission system operator now. It was system operator when I started. We were in the basement here was our operations center.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like Ronnie said, we had three separate district offices, they were called back in the day, where they ran the distribution or monitored and operated the distribution system at each district. Mm-hmm. So it was almost three different companies back in the day. So, but from there I moved into the district. I was a distribution engineer for a while, and then I was over the operations center, and I've done a bunch of different jobs till I've been in this role for four years in January now. Wow, that don't seem possible either.
Yeah,
So,
I remember that day well too.
I do too.
Yeah.
A lot of people were happy that day.
Yeah. Roger, as Chief Operating Officer, give the viewers an idea of how many people kind of work underneath you. That's all the linemen, Ronnie's group in the operations center, all the engineers.
Yeah, we have basically the engineers, the operations, so all the linemen. I think there's probably 300 some employees in my group out of the little over 500 that are here. So probably 2/3 of the company is under E&O in some form of so yeah, have the fleet is under my area. What is a lot. Transmission, substation, distribution, engineering and operations, system planning.
Meter reading.
Meter reading is in my group. Who am I missing? Sure, I'm missing something, but yeah, generally.
Procurement.
Yeah, the procurement and the warehouses. So stores is all in E&O. So it's a big group of people.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
So one of the things I wanted to talk about today, we invited those of you with, a number of years with the organization.
Nice way to say it.
So I've been here 26 years, and I know I've seen a lot of changes. But I wanted to talk to you about what kind of changes you've seen, Ronnie, along the way since you started here, as far as the industry goes and the business itself.
Well, back when I first got hired, like I said, I was in the Leonardtown office, and I worked with some of the staking engineers in the service department. And we were talking about earlier, how technology has advanced, because back in the day, the customers would all have to come in to the service counter. to start new service and to give you a call, type thing. And as a cashier, and back in the day, that's how they paid their bills. They come in and write you a check. When's the last time you wrote a check? So seen a lot of change just with technology on how we handle things, even in distribution operations. With our outage management system, prior to that, it was the tickets on the tables.
I remember those.
So, I mean, it's been a dramatic change just with the different applications that we use in there. So, and even with SCADA, being upgraded and now working towards automated distribution. So,
Yeah, a lot of changes related, like you said, to technology.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to tell a story about the first time I met you.
Okay.
So it was actually before I came to work here, and you would have had no reason to know me, but that was when you were doing load management work, and you came to my house to put a switch on my water heater so I could conserve, energy.
Yeah.
So we've been doing conservation efforts for a long time,
Okay,
even
yeah.
before we were required to do them. But I remember meeting you, and I was like, I thought it was so cool that you were a woman and you were doing that job.
Well, I got a few stories about that. But probably,
Well, we love stories, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I ended up coming to work here like about 3 years after that. So anyway, that was my story about Ronnie.
yeah. I tell you, that's where I learned the most. I have to be honest. That job intrigued me to go in the path that I went into. I mean, I never woke up one day and said, hey, I want to be the director of operations, But once I got into the meter department and actually got a feel for electricity and the path I wanted to take and a better understanding, it just intrigued me so much. And I used to come over to the operations center at the time, and I think it was Ben Murphy back
Ben was
then.
there, yeah.
Mhm.
And
Were you there with Gary Jenkins? Probably not.
No,
You
I
came with
think
Ben was there. Okay.
Yeah, Ben was there, and Bo Suntag was there. Mark Thompson
Yeah.
was there, and so I used to come over. And I would just kind of hang out with them because I just thought it was cool. Because back then when I was doing load management, we did call weeks, where you were on call for the week. And if someone had an issue with their hot water heater or their air conditioning unit, we would go out at night and, investigate our switch and see if we could troubleshoot the issues. And we actually worked on hot water heaters. We would replace the thermostats and elements in there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so...
Just before you go on from there, as a transmission operator or system operator back in, after hours, those calls came into there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we
Yeah.
would dispatch
Yeah.
the load management techs. And we had all the different types in a drawer in there, all the different types of switches we had out there, so we could answer, pull one out and talk to the customer and answer their questions and try to get them back on before we'd actually dispatch somebody. So a lot of stuff came through there that, probably shouldn't have been there, but we were there, so a lot of stuff got put into the operations center back then.
Yeah.
But that's, like I said, that's where I kind of learned the most, and that's what drove me in the path that I went. Like I said, I would come over and hang out with the guys in operations, and when the job came up, I think it was when Gary Jenkins left. I
Maybe
think
it was. Yeah.
Ben Murphy called me, and he's like, "You should put in for this." And I'm like, "No, man, I can't do that kind of stuff," And he's like, "No, seriously, you should put in for it." So I did, and luckily got
We
through.
hired you.
Yeah, got through, and it's definitely been an adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one thing that I've always, I'm the babe in the woods here for 18 years. I've been at SMECO. So one of the things that I've always admired about the job that you do, Ronnie, in the operations center for our customers' benefit here is staffed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
sir.
And what the level I always try to describe is whether we have a blue sky day and there's no outages, or we have 30,000 customer members out. And whenever I go into the storm room when we're doing storm response, the tenor, the noise level, everything is pretty much exactly the same. And I think that reflects on your leadership in there. So help people understand kind of the job that the operators do during a storm, when we have a thunderstorm roll in and we may have 10,000 customers right out of power right away.
Yeah, in a matter of minutes, it can go from nothing to chaos. And for an operator, I mean, there's only so much you can do. And that's what I tell all the operators when they first start. It's like, things are going to happen that are out of your control. The only thing you can do, it's what I tell them all the time. I refer to Mother Nature as a beast, and you're not going to stop her. When she comes in hard. The only thing you can do is let her do what she needs to do, and then we come up behind her and clean up the mess. So, but basically, when outages are entered, and they're entered several different ways. We have the automated meters now that can report themselves. The consumers can do it through the app. They can call in if they wish to do so. But they all come through our outage management system. Once the operator receives that, the operator will, they can actually ping the meters to make sure that it is a true outage before they dispatch it to a truck. But basically, they'll investigate the outage, dispatch it to the appropriate personnel through our outage management CAD system. Once that is done, they actually will use all their tools in there, all their applications to help try to diagnose what's going on. Give as much information as they can to the linemen before when they're en route or when they get to the job, help them in any way that they can help them. And then they work with the linemen to sectionalize any faults, with using SCADA, and then restore as many customers as they can safely and efficiently.
Yes, SCADA, for the benefit of those watching, is a way that we can control our system remotely.
Yes, sir.
And so when you talk about sectionalizing something, if a car smashes into an electric pole and we have the ability through devices on our system where we can kind of isolate that outage to a smaller area, and we can reroute power to get more people on. And,
Absolutely.
And I think for the benefit of the viewers, I mean, the safety aspect that your folks play with the linemen is paramount, because you all are in constant communication. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Safety is our number one top priority above everything else. And again, all the operators in there are highly trained. And that is one of the first things that they're taught, is it's always safety first, no matter what. And we utilize, like I said, all the tools that we have to follow all of our protocols for that. So as far as sectionalizing, they use their SCADA one-line diagrams. They use the eyes and ears of the men in the field to do that work. And then once, like I said, once it is isolated and grounded and safe, that's when the men can go and do what they have to do to clear it. So.
How about you, Roger? What kind of changes have you seen since you started?
A couple of things while she was talking about things that have changed with technology. When we first centralized operations, we got the outage management system, which kind of eliminated the paper tickets.
Right.
But we also got...
and that was a great thing.
Yeah, and we also got, it's called ARCOS. It's Automated Roster Call-Out System.
Yes.
When we first centralized the regions, everybody had a different way of doing things. And they didn't necessarily, and it was up to the distribution operator. When an outage came in, they had to pick up the phone and call people in. And everybody had different ways how the order they did it. They didn't always have updated phone numbers. It was a mess. ARCOS was a huge savior.
It was.
It's especially when it forced everybody. We had to, everybody had to do everything the same way, and then update your own numbers. It was a lifesaver, because now they just basically said, I need this many crews, right? And it does it. It's already set up.
Before, it could take you, before ARCOS, before the automated system, it could take you an hour just to get one crew together, to respond to a call, because of we used to have a flow chart of who was on call, and you would follow the flow chart, and everybody would have 3 different numbers. So you call the first number, you don't get an answer, you call the second number. And what made it even more fun is being a woman and calling someone at 3 o'clock in the morning, and their wife answers, and you're asking for their husband. Hi, is Sam home? And who that, and it's like, yeah, so.
Well, good thing we don't have to do that anymore.
Absolutely.
Then you also mentioned too is the technology. You mentioned the CAD system, the computer-aided dispatch system. Before we had to dispatch an outage, it was over the radio to the truck. You would tell them all the information over the radio, and they would report back through the radio. When they complete it, they'd say how many customers they restored and all of that. Now they just take it from OMS, basically drag and drop it right on a truck through that system, and it pops up on their screen in the truck.
Because now they
all have
tough
the
books in the truck, yeah.
laptops or tough books in the trucks, yeah. So, and then they report their status all the way through, which interfaces to our customer system. So on our outage map, you can see, hey, there's somebody en route, they're working, it gives them an estimated time of restoration. All that is out there now through this technology. Yeah. So it's all started with OMS, though.
I guess the biggest thing I'm hearing is that the biggest change over the years has been all the improvements in the technology.
Absolutely.
Huge. I think it's across the company, but yeah, those are the biggest ones in the operations area for sure.
Yeah.
And our load has grown a lot, and our membership, the number of people we serve has grown a lot. So along with that, we've had to grow our workforce. So, we have 130 line workers right now, somewhere around there.
Yeah. I think when I started back in 1997, our peak load was somewhere around 300 or so megawatts.
Yeah.
That was our peak.
Wow.
Now we're over 1,000.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah, so that's in 27, 28 years.
We had a pretty good peak for the month of March. I was surprised, but I think it was probably cooling load instead of heating load because it was warm.
Now we're back to the heat.
So just to kind of wrap up from my end, Roger, we'll go to you first. What do you see as the biggest challenge that is kind of on the horizon for someone in your position here at SMECO?
Well, there's probably two things right now. Our Maryland Public Service Commission is always a challenge. It seems to be getting tougher and tougher to work with them and deal with them. And then the other big thing we've gotten a lot of interest in now is data centers, these large loads coming onto our system.
Right.
That's 1 or 2 data centers is going to more than double our load potentially, which is huge. Right. It's moving from Northern Virginia down. Now they're looking at our area. So I think those are the two big changes or challenges moving forward here.
Excellent. How about you, Ronnie?
I would definitely say the Public Service Commission is a definite challenge for my department as well, as we are pretty much do the reliability indices from our standpoint. But I think the other challenge that I see is like succession planning in my department. We've had quite a bit of turnover in the operations department, and trying to fulfill that void has been very challenging. It's not like it's not like a regular type of job. You have to be specially trained, and you only have so many people that can do what they do. So getting people in there, getting them trained, the amount of training that it takes alone, but then retaining them, I think that is probably going to be a challenge for a few more years.
I think that's across the company.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of people are reaching retirement age now, and so.
Yeah, after 37 years, it's kind of time to start looking the other way. So.
Come on now. All right. Any fun stories that you want to tell before we let you go?
I can't incriminate myself like that.
And none that can probably be said here that I can think of off the top of my head.
Well, it's fun. It's like, sometimes I think, this is definitely a business, and we run a business, but we like to have fun together too after all. So afterwards,
Yeah, it's kind of like a little family.
Yeah.
So it's nice.
I see you two at the Moose Lodge all the time.
Not all the time.
Well, if you're seeing us, then you're there too. So.
That's true. Well, thank you both. I appreciate you coming on.
Well, thank you.
This is great. Thanks, guys.